What up, should Tim movies here. Since I'm doing my reviews for Steven Spielberg movies in honor of his new movie, The Fablemans, here is my review for arguably my favorite Steven Spielberg film of all time, and that is the most classic sci-fi film, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Now, Spielberg's done lots of great movies. Obviously, you talk about Jaws, Jurassic Park, but whenever I think of Spielberg, my favorite film of his will always be E.T. This film is pretty much a fan favorite of mine. You know what? It's really like also a childhood favorite. I remember watching this as a kid. Obviously, a little later because I was not born in 1982. But I remember like one of the first it. It was pretty much one of the few first VHS tapes I actually owned at the time. I love this film. Of course, I just rewatched the movie again this past summer in IMAX. Which, if you guys have not seen ET in on the big screen, do yourself a favor, go watch it in theaters. I mean, it's cool to watch on TV and stuff like that. It's still good and all, but just watching the movie on the big screen with the scene with Ella and ET on being lifted up on the bicycle over the in the sky over the moon is just one of the greatest movie spirit experience you'll ever have. That I mean, I would love to go back. I kid you not. I wish time machines were real. You know why? So I could go back in time and actually experience ET on the big screen for the first time. I mean, that would have been a great. That would have been a great experience. Of course, you had a young, Henry Thomas playing the role of Elliot, a very young Drew Barrymore as Gertie, which the scenes between her and ET when she first meets ET is just so iconic. Which, if you guys have not seen because Drew Barrymore has like a talk show and stuff like that. Just recent, Drew Barrymore had literally had her ET co-stars D. Wallace, Henry Thomas, and Robert. The one who plays the older brother, I think his name is Robert. What's his name again? Robert McNaught, I think his name is. And they actually had she actually had her ET family on a talk show, which was a great reunion for the 4th anniversary. Which one of the that will literally put you in tears. And I mean, the effects, of course, at the time was a train. Now, if you guys don't really know here, the film's concept was actually based on pretty much an imaginary friend that Spielberg created after his parents divorced in 1980. Um, During his parents' divorce, it was not in 1980, but in 1980, Spielberg, met with Melissa Matheson and developed a new story. And the unrealized project was called Night Skies. And so yeah, and then they decided to change the title to ET, which I think that is a better title in my opinion. Now, I mean, this movie is just like the score by John Williams, maybe one of the greatest John Williams scores of all time here. The effects, of course, at the time, because of course the effects wasn't as high tech as they are nowadays. But the effects in the 80s, I thought was like the effects of ET, I thought was really wonderful to watch. Uh, young Drew Barrymore was really great. Dee Wallace, come on, who does not love Dee Wallace? Henry Thomas was great. This movie was really fun, entertaining. Also be put in tears towards the end when ET, of course, you'll be put to tears a lot. When you think that ET actually died, but then ET ends up coming back and then leaving once again, which you're definitely gonna have some tears right there as well. But man, this movie is one of the greatest Steven Spielberg films of all time. I believe it actually scored a nomination for like loads of Oscar nominations. One of which was for Best Picture. Like it only won for Best Original Score by John Williams, which well deserved there. Won Best Sound Editing, Best Visual Effects, well deserved because the visual effects is stunning. I mean, everything about this movie is just so terrific, amazing, fun. It, it's just a childhood fan favorite, and I cannot believe that ET turned 40 this year. Just wrap your heads around that. I mean, ET 40 years old. My God, this this movie still, like 40 years later, this movie still holds up, And yeah, of course, they were always talk about possibly doing a sequel to this, but I don't think a sequel will ever happen. Right? Although I still really like that. It wasn't that Super Bowl ad. It was like a Christmas ad with a Del Henry Thomas, and ET coming back. Which, if you guys have never really seen that Christmas ad, I forgot what it was for. I think it was for some sort of phone wireless, something like that. I think it was probably for Verizon or something. Right, I think it was Verizon Go 90 or yeah, I think that's what it was for. I, of course, did my review for that thing a couple years ago. If you have not really seen that ET ad for that Verizon Go 90 thing, do yourself a favor, go watch it. That movie will make that ad will actually make you want an ET sequel. I mean, hey, if we could get a Top Gun Maverick, like a Top Gun sequel out one of these years, I'm sure we could get an ET sequel. But that aside, if you guys have never really seen ET the Extraterrestrial for some ever reason, you can of course find it on Peacock. You can probably find it on I don't know Apple TV, Prime Video. Do yourself a favor, go watch ET. One of the greatest Steven Spielberg movies of all time, in my opinion. So yeah, you won't be disappointed. Anyway, let me leave you guys. Have you ever actually seen ET, the extraterrestrial? So, what's your thought? Were you a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? Where would it rank in your favorite Steven Spielberg movies? Where are some of your favorite scenes? Some of your favorite moments? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon Saya.